Hello, world. Let's talk about your baseline frequency. Now, your baseline frequency is what you're vibrating at on a consistent basis. You know, now, even though we go through life and we want this and we want that, we want to experience this, we want to experience that, but we know now, or by now, you know that everything resides on the frequency. So you can't be or have a baseline frequency of doubt, guilt, worry, anxiety, and attract something that is up here on this frequency. So you can be down here wishing, hoping, asking, and believing, but you're not going to attract things on this other frequency. So your baseline frequency is where you're vibrating at on a consistent basis. Like, even though that you want better health, or even though you want this wealth to come in, you have to know, understand that you need to be vibrating on that level to attract it. So your baseline frequency is what you wake up feeling every day. You know, when you wake up, those feelings and thoughts about yesterday, or you have these, I want to say, low vibrational feelings like fear, doubt, guilt, or worry, or anxiety of what today is going to bring. You know, science says that the reason why we stay in that reality loop is that we get up and we move and operate on the same frequency as yesterday. So let's say yesterday you went through um, a challenging day, and it was you um, constantly worrying about what tomorrow is going to bring, or you in that sense of stress about yesterday. So they're saying that 100% of the time we wake up with the same thoughts and feelings as yesterday. So we continue to repeat and attract those similar situations, hence the name reality loop. So your baseline frequency could be you're worried all the time about life or what's going to happen in the future, if you're going to be able to pay this, pay that, you know. Well, that becomes your baseline frequency. And on that baseline frequency, you tend to attract things, more of those things. You tend to have thoughts that gives you more reason to worry. You tend to perpetuate that same vibration, which causes the frequency and which determines what you want to attract. Now, if you really want to get technical with the vibrations and frequencies, if you're like in that worry, stress, doubt, fear, you're vibrating at 100 hertz or below. Let's say that you're vibrating real low, and the frequency is measured by how many cycles per second. To make that make you understand it, it's like shame is like a very low frequency. You know, when you feeling shame about something, that is a very low frequency. It um, resonates at 20 hertz. That's only 20 cycles per second. Now, go all the way up. Let's say enlightenment. That's 700 plus hertz. So you're vibrating at a high vibration. You know, they say high vibration and low vibrational people. Low vibrational people are fear, they're scared, they're doubtful, they're worried. That's on a low vibration. So it's only moving at so many hertz per second. Now, when people experience joy, gratitude, and love and stuff, and they have this baseline frequency of feeling like this, they're vibrating really, really high. It's a lot of cycles per second. So their magnetic field is very strong. So they can attract more of that into their life. So now dealing with that or understanding that, it's always the talk of raise your vibration. Well, they're saying that to raise your vibration from this low, low vibratory state into this higher vibration to attract a lot of different things. And with that, when you start getting on a high vibration, it's more or less like you think that people don't need to see that you're vibrating high. You attract things that's on that vibration. That's when they say animals tend to gravitate towards you. Babies want to look at you, children, because they don't even know. It's like the frequency that you're emitting is peace, love, joy, and and you're on that frequency with it. So people tend to gravitate to that unawareingly, knowing that without saying nothing, people gravitate you because you're vibrating on a higher frequency, which um, which brings positive things, nature, and and um, a lot of good things in your life. You know, so understanding this these frequencies is your frequent vibration. So your baseline frequency may not be where you need it to be to attract what you want. And the key to this is holding up to that high vibration and staying there. And that becomes your new baseline frequency. So you need to know or be aware of where your baseline frequency at, not the one that's going up and down and all that. What is that baseline frequency? Where are you residing at the most? What are you thinking about the most? What thoughts are coming in that's keeping you at that baseline frequency? Well, if you're stuck or if you're at a baseline frequency that is not serving you, then you want to get up in your raise your vibration to create, or not create, but raise your vibration into a different frequency to attract different things in your life. Now, now, I've said before that I'm not a scientist or no spiritual, whatever, you know. I am just coming from experience. Like everything I ever talk about is something that I've experienced or something I've been through or something I felt, you know, and I understand it so well. Um, Inside of me, I got it, you know, I understand it, you know. So if you was to embody, mhm, mhm, let's talk about that, embodying these feelings, like let's say if I ask somebody, I say, man, are you thankful and grateful? They would say, yeah, I'm thankful and grateful for everything. Now, it's one thing to have that surface level, I'm thankful and grateful, but it's another thing to embody that attitude of gratitude. And you don't have to tell nobody. It's just in you. You're vibrating at this state of gratitude. That's the difference from embodying and a surface level response, you know. Or if somebody says, if I ask somebody, how you feeling today? I'm happy, but really deep inside, they got worry, they got issues. So they haven't embodied that happiness yet. They haven't got into that neutral state to where they don't let things affect them or they don't let anything on the outside affects what's happening on the inside. That's how you hold to a frequency. You have to be at a neutral state. Now, neutrality is like 250 hertz. Remember the shame, guilt, and all that? That's very, very low. But if you can hold to a frequency of neutrality and be neutral and move through life at this frequency, uh, I'm not letting nothing that's on the outside, it doesn't even have no power. Nothing has no power to affect my vibration on the inside. I can choose to entertain it. And if I choose to do that, it's going to affect me. It's going to cause me to move up and down in vibration. But the more that I master holding to these frequency by my vibration, the more I can climb the ladder and experience more things in life. You see, you're not experiencing what you want to experience because it's a different world than we thought that we was living in. We was thought and taught that if we do this, if we push, if we put forth a lot of action towards something, we get it. And then we're feeling like the outside, something on the outside is going to make me happy. Something on the outside, some source, something, some person is going to fulfill this void that I have. And I'm pretty sure that heard that if something can make you happy, it can also make you sad. So with that said, if you can embody these feelings already, that's the key. Remember, we said that you have to become it first to experience it. So if you embody these feelings, if you love yourself, well, that love is going to bring joy, happiness, peace. Then you start embodying these things, and at that frequency, you attract more things on that frequency. So it's easy as I'm saying it, it tends to be challenging because we live in a 3D world, and people tend to um, they tend to pay more attention to their current reality and the problems and the issues dealing in this world. So they're back and forth like ping pong, back and forth on their vibration. Sometimes they want to be at a state of peace and joy, and other times throughout the day, life tends to pull them, pull you back, and pull you back and forth. So the more you master, like you start saying, I'm not letting it happen no more. I'm not letting what's on the outside affect my inside. My job is to hold to a certain vibration to attract the things I want in life. And that is the that is the weird thing about it. As we finding out, this world is not like we thought it was. It's not about what we thought it was. And so we end up living and responding in the 4D. I mean, not the 4D, but the 3D world. And in the 3D world, we deal with separation, fear. We deal with being in competition, scarcity. You just feel separate from other people all the time. It's like you're the only one that's out here responding and controlling um, your world because you're responding to something that already is, like the life out here. Whatever is being created, you're responding to that, and that determines your vibration. Like if things are going good in the world, you're good. But if something happens, then your vibration goes up and down. And so you're responding to this world as opposed to um, embodying your vibration to attract things in this world. And yeah, it is quite the paradox of everything. It is very, very, to me, I'll be like, this is strange. This is strange because everything that I was taught, it doesn't work. And the proof is that when um, I guess, want to say experience life, and the more that I stayed in a certain vibration, the more that I attracted more things like that. And I look back at my life and say, man, that is oh so true. That is oh so true. I just keep attracting things that was on my vibration. But, I've been through that and went through the moving up in vibration and experiencing of a whole lot of good things in my life due to the fact that I became aware and became more in control of where I was vibrating at. So you have this 3D world that we are in that is considered of dense matter, and then this 3D world, we all know kind of what happens. You know, it's a bunch of drama, let's say, in the 3D world. Now, as we move up in dimensions, you want to be in the 5D world. Now, this is the new earth, as they call it. Still on earth, but in a different dimension on earth, to where you're not experiencing um, things on the 3D. So we live in all these dimensions: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. And at different dimensions, you have different power. Different dimensions, you have different access to different things. And I will talk about the 5 dimension maybe today, or I don't know. But the 5D world is where everybody is shifting to, and they are experiencing a lot of different things as they reside in the 3D world. It's sort of like a merge. Um, like you have the 3D world and the 5D, and they're interlapping, and people are now experiencing this sometimes back to the 3D, back to the 5D, and then there are people that experiencing are stabilized in the 5D world. So their experiences and perception of this whole world is totally different than what you are experiencing in the 3D world. Hello, world.